Here. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming to Digital PNA. My name is Brian. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen really quickly. Boom, boom. This is our logo. It's not moving forward. There we go. That's my bobblehead. I'm the president for the season. So go team, go. This is our membership roster. We're still in a growth mode this year. I'm still trying to bribe, convince, somehow force Heath to become a member. So we're working on him. Everybody call him after the meeting and make him feel guilty, okay? But
please don't.
He's like, the guilt.
I already felt guilty when I texted you this morning.
I know, but we had fun. Somehow we ended up in a man hug. That was just super awkward. Gonna just cut right to it. Need some volunteers, or I'll voluntold if there's too much of a delay, because this part's always kind of funky. Need a photographer, someone who's willing to take a picture or two of today's event. That could be a screenshot. That could be a selfie. Marcel's in. She's on it. So beware, because she's got skill. Who wants to listen to some quotables, if there's anything worth quoting, data points, things along those lines? We need a tracker. Anybody willing to be a tracker?
I'll do the quotables.
Okay, so you'll be the tracker. Thank you.
Yeah.
That leaves Karen and Mara and Heath to somebody gets to fight and be the doodler. Someone who can, you know, if your speaker today, who I've heard is tolerable, if he talks about ginormous pie charts, you can draw the pie chart or anything along those lines. Who wants to doodle?
I'll do it.
Okay, good. I was going to say,
let me go get my doodle pad.
I had to move into my bedroom, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we should just have the meeting focus on you and your charming bedroom instead today.
No, I'm like sitting on the floor.
But you're comfy. Okay. We know what's next. It's the simple opportunity. I don't know why I said simple. 60-second commercial, talk about who you are, what you do, maybe something that separates you from the competition. And then afterwards, we're going to go back around the block and talk about a little tangent that I have prepared. I will put the names in the windows because for some reason it's intriguing that she's sitting on her floor. Mara, you get to go first for your commercial, and then I'll put the rest of the names in order in the chat screen.
Okay. Mara Hilton, I'm the owner of Sound Care Agency. We do in-home backup care. We work with families on a permanent basis to find them a permanent nanny. And we also work with corporations that want to provide backup care to their employees. And I'm sitting on my floor because I have about 6 people in my living room and an extra dog. And so fun times.
Okay. Are these vagrants or are they people that you know?
No, it's kids, friends. Nate's house had black molds, and then my friends were out of town and I was dog sitting. It's been a wild few days.
So it's the Brady Bunch times. Holy crap. Okay, good.
Yeah, we're in a very small space.
All right. There we go. Heath, you're up.
Yeah, so good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Heath Pierce. I'm what they call a business performance advisor. I work with a Fortune 500 company called Insperity. You've all heard that many, many times by now. And, you know, the long and short of what I do is I take away administrative and compliance burdens from business owners. So as all of you are self-employed, all of you have probably had employees at some point in time, as have I. And I tell you, I wasted more time trying to figure out things, from a compliance and administrative standpoint when it came to having employees than I did actually making any money. So what I do is I help businesses refocus themselves on their core mission. So the owners and even their staff that might be dedicated to HR can go out and work on strategic things and, let me take over all the boring mundane stuff that doesn't make them any money. So Heath Pierce with Insperity. Thank you.
I guess it's me next. So if you would like to save more, spend less, find a track to retirement and beyond, all without feeling deprived, then you need me. I'm Karen Koenig with KK Financial Solutions, and I've been in business since 2015, and I do several things in my business that I can help you with. But the biggest one is helping people get on track. So Karen Koenig with KK Financial Solutions.
I love your opening there, Karen. That was great. A good hook is powerful on social media, as we all know. But today I want to share with you a little bit about social proof. Do you have a documented plan to prove that your clients exist, they like you, they enjoy coming to your events, your training? So social proof is part of why we have a photographer role in this, because we want somebody to capture this and hopefully talk about it online. Recently, I was supposed to go to a really cool garden party and I didn't go because it was thunder and lightning, and I kind of wanted to see like the shit show happen from my home on Instagram, but nobody from this event posted about it. And I was like, why'd she even do it if they're not gonna like help her grow her brand? And again, you don't have to do social proof, but it's an opportunity for people who want to be well known and liked and connected to others in the marketplace. Have a strategy for social proof. If you don't have one, please reach out and I would love to assist.
Hi, Rosie with TAP Services. So what we provide is financial bookkeeping for small businesses, medium size and large. What I actually like to focus on today is, there was a client that was going to be a client. I'm hoping she'll be a client now today. So to back up, before I moved to Westport, she actually met with me, and she was a referral from Jeff Moore at Coastal, which, because of PNA, I got to meet him and stuff. So again, proof that PNA actually works. And she says it's 20 to 25 hours a month of work. And that's on top of trying to get caught up. And she first didn't want to use me because she was like, well, she's like, she liked me and my personality and my skills, but I just didn't have the property management experience. And she was looking for somebody with that. Well, I guess whoever she used didn't work out. And so she's reaching back out and saying, help. So I like to point out that even if leads don't work out in the long run, it's going to be, I think, a lifelong relationship that I like to keep with people just in case they come back, because you never know. So there you go. Rosie with TAP Services.
That's awesome. I can't beat that. So hi, everybody. Brian Trendler, LAF Tech. I am going to be speaking today, so I'll be a bit brief, but I just wanted to say that laughter is hard work, and people don't realize that. And I guess I kind of said that wrong. Not laughter, but being humorous is hard work. For some people, it's a gift. Some people, it's just natural. We really like the folks that it's not natural. They're terrified. They're scared. We love having engagement sessions with that type of client because they might have big goals, lofty goals, sometimes even unreachable goals. It's okay to be unrealistic in your humorous journey, but we would like we want to be a part of that journey because it's really amazing to watch those snails, watch those really quiet people just come out of their shell because they're already moving slow. They're already trepidatious. They don't really necessarily know where they can go, where they should go with their form of humor. We bring it out, and honestly, we tell them how it's going to work for them, and it does. And there's nothing more rewarding than that. So if you know boring people, that's a great referral for us. Okay. Good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to jump back into the slide deck. It's a yellowish slide. I didn't just turn into a Trump supporter. Oh, I'm sorry. That was, never mind. Sharing the screen in one button. Boom. This is the tangent that we're going to cover. What story in your industry hasn't really been shared yet because you've been shy or hesitant? So before we go back around the room, we're actually going to go in reverse. So I'll start, but think about this from the standpoint, not just like, well, I just help people reach their financial goals. Not that Karen never sounds like that, but people think someone that's in finances, that's all they do. Go deeper. Try to peel back one or two layers of the proverbial onion, and let's go deep. Let's see if we can really figure some things out here, because I think this is going to be an interesting topic. And in all fairness, I also just want the yellowish tint off my face. This was Marcel's idea because I occasionally have a really hard time thinking of one of these, and she helped. So let's go ahead and, like I said, I'll start and then we'll just go reverse on the list. Hi again, everybody. Brian Trailer, LAF Tech. The tangent I think is kind of fascinating, and I actually hinted toward it with my commercial. And really what I want to talk about is becoming your very best from a public speaking or even in general conversational skill set is a lifelong process. It's a lifelong journey. And I think what Marcel and I have found with a number of different other forms of coaches that we've met out there, especially the ones that just buy a franchise and then take a certification and get a little letter that they put on the wall, and then they're this XYZ type of franchisee owner. Everything isn't that simple. It's not just lock, stock, and barrel and follow this and you're going to have the best results possible. There's so much failure in humor, and what's actually behind the art of humor or the science of humor is pain. Believe it or not, it's pain. If you see somebody trip across the street and whack their head on a stop sign post, what do we inherently do? We laugh. We laugh because of the discomfort and like relational, oh my God, that really hurt type of thing we just witnessed. We laugh because that's our fight or flight instinct. After that initial laugh, which is the release, at that point, what do? Right? Do you go help the person or do you go work that into your next gig? Right? So humor takes a lot of work. It's observational, both external and internal. And what we do can get really deep. So what I think is the big part that's never been shared or not been shared, and what Marcel and I try to bring out every single day, is that we really want to work with your demons. Mara, we want to work with your demons. She's like, too many people in the house. You know, whatever the case is, there's humor in everything, but you need to be able to be trained how to look at it and how to make it something useful. Does that make sense? So that to us, I think, or me at least, in regard to our side of LAF Tech, I think that's really big. No one's doing it the way we do, and really no one's talking about it. So mic drop. Next up, Rosie.
Rosie with Tap Services. So, gosh, in my industry, I think the one thing that I've been hesitant to share about, which I'm starting to share more about now because I actually found something that'll work, is forecasting. So basically forecasting is for, like, example, one of my clients is a restaurant owner. And his number one thing, like one of the things that he said to me recently is, I don't know about this business thing because it just seems like my cash flow isn't great. Well, you know, a normal bookkeeper is just gonna enter data and call it good, but I don't want to be a normal bookkeeper. So I found an Excel template that actually is a cash flow chart by day. And I plan to actually meet with, put together something and just show him, basically, this is your cash flow for the week. So that way he can plan ahead, and then that template also has columns for bills that you have to pay and everything else. And it's easy enough to add a column if you have other expenses that aren't usual. And what that's going to help him do is actually plan it and not be so stressed out and just say, I don't have any money, and just give up. Because I think a lot of business owners really don't plan, right? They don't forecast out their money, what it's going to look like each week. When reality is they can survive, you just have to be smart about it. So that's something that I plan to do more of. And Marcel, I'll probably do videos on it too. So be on the lookout, because that's one of the things that I think isn't talked about in my industry quite a lot. So.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I assume we're going upside down on the list. Is that what he had said?
Yes.
So the story or the industry in my story, so social media is it's come on so quickly in the last 15 years, and I've watched so much of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's really interesting because there's a lot of stories that aren't being told. There's a lot of people that are marketing poorly and storytelling vaguely. And like, I even think about my own story with Financial Joy, and what I really, really, really want women to know how to do is generate 5 to 10 grand a month if they had to. Am I preaching that every day? No, like I could be telling that story so much more better. But for my clients as leaders or people who are maybe digitally hesitant, I think the ability to initiate in the marketplace is something that they're not doing. They're showcasing what's happening, what did happen, features, functions, benefits, all those typical things. But are they initiating the important conversations to bring harmony in the home? I don't know. Like, that's what I want to be, that bridge to inspire that activity. But I think there's a lot of conversations that are not happening because social media is such a distracting tool. And when you have a family of 5 and they're all on their tech, not actually talking to each other, we're losing the value of what technology can do for us. So I don't know, there's maybe a keynote and all of that, but that's my response, Brian. It's not just about video.
I think the probably the number one thing that I don't talk about, or we don't talk about with clients enough, or even prospective clients, is the fear around money, the fear around finances, the fear about having some type of financial plan. A lot of people don't get started with financial advisors or even reach out because they feel like they haven't done enough to get ready for retirement, or they feel like they don't know enough, like they're going to ask stupid questions. So there's the big word fear around financial. And if we could take the fear out of it, I think people would reach out. Even I think older people have a fear. Maybe they have a financial advisor, but they don't know, should I go get a second opinion and see if that person is working right for me? So they just stay with somebody. And so there's a fear of changing, or a fear of reaching out and saying, hey, I just want to verify that my guy is doing the right thing. So I think if we talked about the fear a little bit more, people would be more apt to delve into hiring financial advisors or planners or people to invest their money. So.
Great. So I'm not quite sure how to answer this question succinctly, which is a problem that I have, and Brian knows it. But one of the things that I don't talk about very often with people when I'm having business conversations is my own personal experience. And when I ran my company, I ran it for a little over 11 years. I employed over 40 people, and my life, my quality of life went way, way down during those times. And it's not something I talk with people very often about, but when I mean quality of life, I really do, because I was constantly worried about what I was doing wrong, what I didn't have, and what my employees could get somewhere else. So I did end up training a lot of my competition. But it was a long few years for me until I got ahead of that curve to have, a good employee handbook and good policies for my people to understand, what my company was about, what their opportunities were within the company, and how we viewed the world per se. And it was I don't know, I actually lost sleep over that, and maybe this is something I should talk with people more about, and just try to dig into how they're sleeping, and how they're doing outside of the business environment, because it affected me in a lot of profound ways. Probably because I'm a perfectionist and I want everything done the right way from day one. But that's something that I don't talk about very often.
Awesome.
All right. As I was listening to all of you reply to this, I something just keeps circling in. Maybe it's because I had a call about 45 minutes ago that got me in this line of thinking, but something that isn't talked about a lot in the industry regarding like childcare and hiring caregivers. And we talk to a lot of businesses and we talk to a lot of families, but a lot of the conversation that's left off is what it is to actually be a care provider or a caregiver, and the expectations that are placed on them from the families, their bosses, and all of the people. We you know, had a very interesting situation where clearly the expectations were out of line. You know, I got off the phone shaking for the first time in like probably 5 years, which probably related to me being scattered when this talked, because I was still kind of coming down from that phone call. But something that isn't talked a lot are the expectations that some people have with regards to caregiving. Again, we want it to be, they are the most valuable people and important people in our life, but we also need to take into consideration what the caregivers, what the job experience is for them, and treating them right and making sure that they feel respected and in a supportive and supported environment. So that's something that isn't really talked about. The expectations that are placed on some of the caregivers can be quite shocking. Yeah. My answer.
Excellent. Great job.
That's great. Okay, so I want you all to remember something regarding what we just listened to, both the commercials and the little fun random tangent. This one was a bit more serious today, right? But the whole point of these is to stimulate our brains and to make us think, I need to have a one-to-one with that person. Okay. Some of us, like Karen, no longer in the state. That means get on a Zoom call with her. Or if you're extra crazy, get on your 3-wheel tricycle thingy, whatever the heck that thing is, and go visit her, right? Got a place to stay in Arizona. But point is, have a one-to-one with each other and either go deeper into the subject that we talked today, or again, if you heard something during that commercial that makes you say, oh, wait a minute, I've got more questions. Let's make sure we do that. I just want to make sure that we're increasing our one-to-ones even within our currently kind of tiny digital PNA community, because we're always out there becoming or being an extension of each other's sales force. Okay, cool. So we just lost Rosie.
You're the presenter, so I will kick you off with some questions.
Okay, yeah.
How many years in business, Brian, and what's your full name?
My name is Brian Trentler, and I'm an engagement coach and co-owner of LAF Tech.
Excellent. And what's a seldom known personal fact?
Oh my gosh, you guys know so much about me. Seldom known personal fact, 20 some odd years ago, I looked up from my desk and I saw this fiercely intelligent and snarky looking young woman, and her name was Mara. And I called her Mara, and everyone else was like, Mara this, Mara that. And I remember spelling her name in a message one time in Microsoft email system, and I kept spelling it like the hotel for the last name, so I couldn't find her email. But I have known Mara for, what did we figure out? Like 24 years, right? And we lost contact after we were Microsoft V-. We were Volt employees. Actually, I don't remember if you were a Volt employee or not. But point is that we were Microsoft dorks, lost touch, and she went off to have a wonderful family and a beautiful, perfect life. And I'm sitting in my basement. But she's a cool gal. And it was really neat to reconnect after so many years via Facebook. And, you know, now she's here.
Awesome. And title of presentation today?
Oh my gosh, how to find us.
Awesome, take it away.
That is literally what it's called. All right, so really quickly, I just want to say it can be hard to find us. It can be hard to find LAF Tech. The reason why is people spell it LAUGHTECH. They spell it LAUGHTEK. They spell it actually, they never spell it LAF. So this is a nice way of saying that we own like 50 freaking URLs. So the majority of them are findable, and they all point toward the website that I'm going to share with you guys today. I really just wanted to take everybody through the website, and please let me know if you can see it okay. Somebody not? Okay, excellent. Some of you have seen this. I'm actually going to go a little bit bigger on the screen size because why not? But I just want to showcase the fact that we have a strong presence online. And I say that not because the websites hit all the time with tons of traffic. It's because Marcel and I have put a ton of time into allowing people to literally shop on our site. Not necessarily, we are not an impulse buy. Okay, we're not next to the Payday or the 100 grand candy bar on the shop, you know, in the kiosk as you're going through the checkout line at Safeway. No one's going to pick us up and immediately purchase it, but we have a lot of information on the website. So I just want to take a few minutes today and go through all that. And just remind me, are you recording? Excuse me, are you timing me, Marcel? Okay, thank you. So right off the bat, you go to the website and you see this, okay? We purposely put one of our big comedy engagement events on the page because right off the bat, you see not only is there some weird guy on a stage talking into a mic, as it shows me, of course, I'm the weird guy, but it also shows some of the classroom trainings that we've done. If you were to sit there for roughly a minute and a half and watch the actual reel, it showcases a lot of what we do. We're not shy in saying some of the places that we've been. The website itself, the entire site versus downloading our media kit, access a media kit. And when we're trying to get in front of people, whether it's for speaking engagement opportunities, the stuff I do as well from an MC and auctioneer, or for training, people like seeing some names. So we placate that and we name drop a bit. I need to update this. There's probably another 15 names that we need to add to this. Describes what the business is. There's us. There's the coolest gal that I know. And unfortunately, that's my side profile. But let's move on. Lots of people do not want to spend time going through a website. So if you were to click here, it takes you right to our Calendly account, the hardest word to say in the frickin' planet, Calendly. But it is a good functional tool. It alerts us if somebody wants to meet with us. We figure it out, and happiness is the result. We explain very simply what we do, why we do it, why you should do it. Nothing worse than people that screw around and don't use reverse psychology in marketing. You're supposed to use reverse psychology. Just tell them why you should reach out to us. That's what we do there. Cutest marketing shots on the planet. Look at that. Aw, I actually still had some brown in my hair there. Aw, and a better coif. So I need to update those pictures. It explains a bit of who we are. Commonly asked questions. I'm not going to try to go through any of these, but it's the accordion function. You read the question, you get the answer, voila, it's like magic. We do have testimonials on the page. I'd love to get more updated ones like that, but either way. And then it just happens to talk about our upcoming comedy night. The big thing I want to point out is we have an actually very extensive, big website. Not that size matters in the web world, but it does when you're trying to show people all the stuff that you do out there. I'm going to quick pause and wait for Heath to get the joke. Okay, he got it. Okay, so if you go to the first one, simply put, engagement training. Oh my God, look at all the brown hair I have right there. This is whether we're working with 2 or 3 individuals or 1-on-2. You get Marcel and me on a regular basis as long as we can schedule it, because we both have very unique ways of addressing humor. So we are very valuable when you stick us in a room and we work with the person on that 2-to-1 type of need that they might have. I also said before that we want people to shop us. Okay, that's why we put all of our prices here. We're very, very transparent. People can very easily, again, answer the little Q&A thing. Don't know why that's off to the left. I'll fix that. And then we can move on to the next portion of the page. Some of you have seen the recent program that we soft launched back in January, but we're really kind of quiet about it because it's an official program, but we don't have clients for it yet. That feels a little icky. So we're just trying to get people to understand what we can do. And really, in a nutshell, all of the stuff we do, from the engagement programs, the huge workshops, it's all packaged up in a beautiful little bundle where we will work with up to 10 people per year to get them to hit their goals. It's a phenomenal program. The best salespeople on the planet have an accountability person that does just that, keeps them accountable, asks them, what are you doing? How are you doing? Let's go through this. Do you realize what you've done wrong? What can we help you to get it done right, etc. That's what we do. So again, brief Q&A there. If you know of anybody that really has problems within their organization, that's going to be way more than just 2 or 3 actively engagement or workshop sessions. The LIFT program is a huge value. Again, not going to go through all these, but the corporate events, that's a lot like what we did at Heath's company. He brought us in for a really great loyalty event. It was super fun. Marcel was unavailable that day. I got the party without her. I think she's probably still mad at me about that. But look at how much fun we have together. Look at her smile. That's all people care about. They don't care about me. They just care about her smile. But we come in, we can create a really fun, engaging, immersive environment. 20 people or less, any more than 20, we're not able to guarantee 2 to 3 opportunities to engage with each other. So we do kind of want to keep the head count down, but they're really, really fun workshops. And once again, this might look like a lot of money, but if you're looking at anywhere from $95 to $125 per head, the math still works. So that's, again, an excerpt of some of the stuff we do. It's also completely customizable. If someone comes in and says, I only have $1,200, what can you do, etc. It's our company. We can do what we want. We joke about that, but we do want to be flexible to meet with someone's budget. DYM workshops, I'm not going to go on to that right now, but those are the 7-week course for it. It's open to the public. Companies can take us in and do that as well, but that still falls more into the corporate banner. But it's open to the public. They can immerse themselves within our 6 methods of humor. We've literally taught people as young as, I think, 7 or 8 years old, all the way up to one guy, I think he was more like Yoda age, about 150. But it's really, really fun to watch people of all ages, color, sizes, demographics, doesn't matter, how they all want to become funny, want to become listenable. So we really enjoy bringing that out of people in an extended format. It's only 2 hours once a week, but they're mad at the end of 7 weeks once it's over. It's kind of funny that we get people angry at us. Y'all know I'm an MC and auctioneer. I just want to point out one thing on this site. This is where I want people to send their leads for me. If you don't get directly in touch with me, just go to laftechnw.com, go under this portion, and it showcases all the fun stuff that I've been able to, just very lucky to be involved in, from pictures to videos, more details about the goods, a media kit, and the cost structure. Once again, very transparent. And I do not charge more than most of the people that do what I do within the Pacific Northwest. I'm simply honest about the numbers. I'm kind of proud of that, in case you haven't figured that out yet. I am an efficient. I can marry off your legally aged people. If you know folks that want to have a lot of fun within a wedding type of environment, and I can also be the MC afterwards during the dinner party, wedding games, stuff like that. Laugh and Learns, this is one of the best ways, and I kind of want to focus on this for a moment. This is one of the best ways that you can introduce us to a company, because quite often they have that dreaded, God forbid, Monday morning meeting every single week, or once a month, or worse, it's in the middle of the week. It's on hump day. Everyone's on like a work/food coma. They're just near death and they need a pick me up. Package us up. Wow, I can't say that. Package us up, put a little bow on top, get us into that facility. You don't have to feed us, although we like food. I'm not going to lie. You've seen my profile. But point is that it's a great opportunity to bring us in for 30 minutes to 90 minutes. Again, it's a flat rate versus the normal $85 per person. And we will come in and we will entertain, and not just entertain. We're not jokesters. We give them 2 or 3 immediately actionable techniques they can turn around and go use that to close their next deal, to use on their next cold call. Rapport building skills that are immediately able to be applied out there in the real world, whether it's business or pleasure. We've had people take some of the exercises and then go on a long ride with their significant other. And they've played some of the stuff we teach them as games. So it can be fun stuff to build rapport, extend relationships, have fun with people you care about, or even people you don't care about, but you're still stuck in the room with them. We can teach you how to laugh. Next up, and I'll be very brief about this, Laugh Craft is another one of our programs that we have when people need to use us when they want to, with whatever their need is. So it's a completely customizable program. We've had a few people really benefit from this, especially if they're just about ready to go into an office, they're in the parking lot, they're white knuckling it because they're stressed out and frustrated. They need to call us. Think 911 for coaching and accountability. So it's used X amount of times a month. They can call in, they can get us to listen, find out what's going on, give them some coaching directly right there on the spot. Then they've got that little infusion of confidence. They go into the office, that person they didn't want to talk to a few minutes ago, now they're jazzed and they knock it out of the park. So it's a completely customizable program. And it's literally 3 hours worth that they can use every single month of our time. And now, obviously, understand we all have lives. So maybe Marcel isn't available. Maybe I'm not available. So you get the other person. But point is, I kind of like that 911 for, for accountability. But we're not T-Mobile. The hours don't roll over. So we ask that someone is responsible to use that. And it's a flat $250 a month. If you saw the pricing schedule for any of the engagement sessions, one session with us is $295. So why wouldn't you potentially take advantage of something like this? You can use this for 3 hours a month. Kind of cool. Shut Up and Laugh is my podcast. I'm currently not doing it. It's a bit of a hiatus right now, but if you do want to laugh and listen to a series of broadcasts, I think I hit 40 or 50 some odd podcasts. I'm going to be going back to it soon. But it was a really neat opportunity to kind of throw my hat into the podcast ring. And all of the stories, look at that guy. All of the stories are based off of people who I interviewed who have had experiences with humor that have gotten them out of sticky situations. I have interviewed everybody from a truck driver to Amity Adrisi, who's currently now running the Northwest Afternoon Show. She was one of the anchors on King 5 when we first met her. She loves us for some reason. I don't know why. We're just really blessed to have someone of that caliber that's a huge fan of LAF Tech. We kill to get her in one of our events. But point is that they're just really fun podcasts. Go anywhere that you stream or download your podcast, type in Shut Up and Laugh. Not meant to offend, Mara. I saw you flinch there. But you can find all the stuff there and listen to me ramble and do a podcast. Not unlike I'm doing right now. Y'all know about comedy nights. I will say that we're at a new location in the Pacific Northwest in Shoreline. It's not quite Seattle. I call it Seattle Junior. It's a nice way of saying when you come out at the end of the night, you'll still have 4 tires on your car. That's a bonus. So there's plenty of safe off-street parking. And we now have the once a month, the first Friday show. And it's just a great opportunity for us to network, have fun, bring humor, local-ish. We used to be literally right down the street here in Bothell. We'll probably get a new location soon for once a quarter in the local area, but this is currently going to be our home through March of 2025. How am I doing on time, Marcel?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 more minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. I do want to say that if anybody is at all interested in getting a ton of exposure to your business, not only are we going to start doing some more cool things at this new venue, they have a big projector and a big screen. So for the next month's event, we're going to have the projector down and running. It's going to be showcasing the current local businesses that are sponsors of the LAF Tech Comedy to help keep it local and help keep businesses thriving. We do have sponsorship offers, and I can get into that if anybody's interested, but it's a solid year's worth of advertising from whenever the sponsor purchases the package. They also get tickets to the show. They're not required to even use the tickets. They can hand them out as gifts, all that fun stuff. So if anyone is interested in that, please let me know. We're always looking to have fun with that. This is the new location. It's set up for 125 people. And this back wall is where that drop down huge screen is going to be. And we'll start to improve a number of things at the venue to make it even more fun and friendly, because it's really just a big conference hall, but it is a really nice space. And once again, showcasing sponsors, not only at events, but online. You can click through any of these events, any of these sponsors, and shows information about them. It's another pin drop on the local, Google search results, for lack of better words. But we have had some people that have been sponsors and have said, that was kind of cool. We got found because of XYZ, and it came back toward the LAF Tech exposure that we gave them. One of them was Dream Space. They got a couple business opportunities. because people at one of the events knew to come find them here. That's a good problem to have. So my ask, and I know this will make Marcel really happy because she likes it when people have an ask. I would absolutely love it if each and every one of you spend just a couple minutes at some point. Oh, Mike's been trying to get in. Whoops, I just let him in. Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. My ask though is to have each and every one of you spend a couple minutes on the site at some point in the next few days. Mike, I'm so sorry. I was giving the presentation and it robbed me of the ability to see that you wanted in. I'm so sorry, but my presentation was great. But I'm wrapping it up right now. So everybody, please spend a few minutes on the website. If you see anything that you think relates towards someone you know in your world, I'm not pitching to you. I'm pitching to who you know. You all know someone who's boring. All kidding aside, they give death by PowerPoint presentations. They're giving a huge long presentation. You cannot tell if their face is having a good time. There's so many important ways that we help people convey how much they like to do what they do. And if you've witnessed someone that isn't, those are great referrals for us because we love bringing out what someone's already doing great, but not wonderful, not really like kapow, like Batman stuff. We really want to bring that out in people. We do have a referral program as well, especially on the corporate side. I'm not the best person at math on the fly, but if someone picks up a $5,000 opportunity for us, big corporate training, you get 10%. That doesn't suck. Just to refer us over. We would happily part with Marcel's portion of the money in order to do that, to give to give referral spiffs for folks, because we're thankful, especially for the PNA community, and even more thankful for the digital PNA community, because Karen right now is taking notes on figuring out ways to fly us out to Arizona to entertain her clients. Am I right? Come on, Karen, right? She's like, yeah, liar. Okay. I'd like to just open it up for questions. I know that this wasn't the most super exciting thing, but I just wanted to show it to you because it's really important that people realize that everything we do is literally at your fingertips, and you can bring as much exposure for us via the website. As a ginormous dog just walked by Marcel in the background. It's a cougar. But let's just open up for questions. What can I answer, if anything?
You may have mentioned this, but like towards the end when you were talking about someone that maybe doesn't or is working to enhance their power, you know what I mean? Like their presentation skills. Do you do, when I was focused, it looked like it was more for groups. Do you do stuff? Is that what the what was it? 3 hours a month, the one-on-one coaching, is that what it is if it's for one person in particular?
So,
or those, or am I getting those mixed up?
No, no, but a little bit. So we have the engagement training under the tab. Engagement training is getting both of us ideally to work with, say you, for example, okay? If you needed 1 or 2 engagement sessions, if you had a particular presentation you wanted to spiff up, as you know, Mara, I'm also a graphic designer, so I've not been able to not keep that out of what we do. We've helped people go from 100+ slides down to 20 slides, right? Take their content down, take the too much text, not enough images. That then allows people to move all that garbage into the notes of the the PowerPoint or keynote, so they can kind of free themselves up and convey a message. That's the engagement sessions at that price point. But again, like you were kind of alluding toward, if they think they might need us on a continual or even semi-continual basis, that's why the LAF, so I just blanked on the name of that program. That one's great because it's customizable in how you need to use us. It's the one price for 3 hours versus the equivalent of just paying for one session. So we love it when people utilize us for that. And thank you, Marcel. She just put the LAF Craft link in the chat, and there's no contracts. People just use this for a couple months at times. We've had folks use this for a lot longer, and they're getting all the benefits. It's kind of like the LIFT program junior though, because it's for one person versus up to 10 under the LIFT program. Does that help? Okay, cool. Keith, you had something?
Yeah, so on the maybe it's the same thing as Mara, but the 911 coaching and accountability piece of that, is that for like alumni?
Alumni. No, it's for everybody. But if
Okay.
it would make you feel special, yes.
Well, I'm not really an alumnus. You know, I want to be.
Yeah.
But I was curious. So that's a standalone thing that you can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, it was a way to get us back in people's minds after COVID. We used it during the end of COVID, but because our workshops haven't come back in full force, we haven't been able to find a sweet spot where people who said and committed to the workshops actually showed up. I think 3 months ago is when we tried to do our last workshop. And like I said, we had about 8 people committed and we literally had no one show up. So stuff like that happens. It's okay. So because everybody has schedules, everyone has balancing that they need to do every single week. That's why the LAF Tech LAF Craft program was successful.
Okay.
Where's your brain going? I can see smoke coming out of your ears. You're thinking about something.
Well, I'm just thinking about the price points on some of the programs. I believe they're very fair and realistic.
Thank you.
But this is going to sound kind of a little bit out of left field, but if you're considered like for the larger ones, the 5,000 and above, like, you know, engaging a financing option, like where somebody can make like 4 payments over a year or over 18 months or something like that, and get the high end, you know, of your services?
That's actually a great question. I mean, that example, that $5,000 example is an all day. I think it's a 6-hour class that's essentially at a company for, 20 or less people. I'm not necessarily sure how a business of that size would need to make.
No. I was thinking that was more for individuals. So I wasn't clear on that. My mistake.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We have had people come to us and say, for that LAF Tech 7-week program, for example, I'm blanking again because we have so many prices. I think it's $695 or something to that extent. We've had people turn that into 3 payments during those 7 weeks, and even finish it off afterwards. A month or 2 later, drop us that final. We're fine with that because if you get X amount of people in the room, it adds up. We're being taken care of. They're being taken care of. We have the ability to extend that grace. So
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely
Helpful. Thank you.
And I do know large men that lift trucks and stuff. So worst case, we'll just send Guido after him.
Okay, let's go into the speech breakout session. Great job, Brian. Good questions, everybody. Key phrases to listen for. Oh man, that was terrible. You put me in a nap.
Oh, I thought you were totally really yawning.
I know. I was like, what's going on right there? What's happening?
You listen for the yawn. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Wanting that. Or people who are like, I want to be a TEDx presenter. We've actually coached several TEDx people in our time. So if that's on their wish list, we would love those people.
I feel like, anybody that's complaining about speeches that they have to listen to, like, or team meetings that they have to attend, people that it might be an opportunity to, get into a new team or a group if the people that are listening are struggling. Goes with the yawn. It's connected.
Excellent. So key conversations, what would trigger a referral? We were at a happy hour or a barbecue and you're like, oh, you need to meet Brian or just maybe Marcel. like what would trigger that conversation?
Well, just like you said, if somebody said, hey, my presentations are boring, nobody ever laughs at my jokes, we need, we have a group of people that need to come together teamwork wise, and we don't have a good way to do it. Could be those types of things.
I think I can recall a conversation that I had with someone, I mean, not recently, unfortunately, but they had gotten a new position within their corporation, and they now had to do like weekly presentations, and they were struggling with it. Like, I don't mind speaking in front of people, but I remember that conversation. They really were nervous about the new job starting because they were going to have to present more than what they were used to. And those types of conversations, I think, happen when people are just sharing, you know, their excitement over a new job and maybe some of the fears that they have about some of the new parts of it. And I think if it involves more speaking opportunities that they're not used to, that could be a good opportunity to say, got someone that can maybe help you get over that fear and get more comfortable with it.
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead, Heath.
Oh, so those are great ones. I think another one very possibly could be somebody who is either new or maybe coming back into sales as a profession, especially one where you have to do a lot of cold outreach. I know I do a lot of cold outreach, and one of the things I try to do is when these people, you get them on the phone, they want you off the phone as quick as possible, but at least if you can make them laugh for even a second or two, you can drop that resistance, sometimes just enough to get your message through. I've relied on, I'm a one-trick pony. I rely on the same line every time. I tell people, hey, this is a cold call. If you want to hang up, go for it. You know, something along those lines. And it, you know, it works, I don't know, 30-40% of the time. Other times people just hang up anyways. That's fine. You know, they're signaling to me where they're at, but you know, I think that someone in sales or just getting into sales or somebody doing a lot of prospecting could very well benefit. I think even I could, even though I've been in sales forever, you know, from learning some different techniques.
Oops. Excellent. And a great question for what Mara said or what he said is, ask the question, have you ever developed your mix of humor? And they're 9 times out of 10, they'll say no, right? Like that's the question to ask. Have you developed your mix of humor? Because most of the times we're either boring or we're not. Like, no, you can, it's a skill that can be learned. Anybody can learn to use emotion, you know, gestures, storytelling. Okay, Mike, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we see a lot of interest in is companies or individuals wanting to present themselves as thought leaders. What they really mean is they want to be seen as an authoritative, credible source, and that often is far more than simply doing a white paper. It means getting in front of people to present effectively your thought leadership. So one of the phrases to listen for keeps coming up in what I hear all the time: thought leadership or content marketing, or I want to be seen as.
Yep. And so much of why Brian and I met initially was I was preaching video, like video, you gotta do video. Then I was like, oh shoot, you gotta get good first so you can develop your thought leadership to a broad audience, to potentially hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah. And that's the opportunity for all these people right now is, you know, Heath, I love that you're doing cold calls because that's bold and you've got, you know, resiliency. But when you start doing this on video, you'll start teaching such a different level of, it's just the game changes. So I love what you said, Mike, that it is about people who want to develop that thought leadership. And so much of what people know takes time to flesh it out to make it dynamic and amazing. And that's really what we're wanting to do.
Yeah, I mean, position it as the how of getting to a thought leadership position. Also, personal branding.
Yeah, those are great words.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they've just gotten great new headshots or they've got a book coming out, those are people. Okay, so how about beneficial syndications, video, social media, sponsorships? Is there anybody you guys can think of? And I'll actually start. Just this morning, I was at Bothell PNA with Mara. Hey, Mara, twice today. We're doing PNA. But the guy who spoke, he's like a nonprofit mover and a shaker with a company called Civic Reinventions. I'm going to try to get the website for you, but he was amazing. And I'm like, I want to help him and all his people because they are dealing with some heavy stuff. And so much of humor is learning to take the heaviness and make it playful, right? Like we can shift energy quickly. And then if you guys aren't sure, beneficial syndications is where should the name LAF Tech be showing up? Are there happy hours? Are there Facebook groups? Are there TEDx coaching program groups that you know of? Like where can we move that website so it's fresh in these people's feeds? And I would even say you guys could all post about it once this week, just on a Facebook post. Hey, I know the chuckleheads that run this company. Go check out their website. Like it doesn't always have to be a fancy reel or a cool photo. It can be just the link.
And for the record, that's Sir Chucklehead and Miss Chucklehead.
Yes.
Jeez, not just any chuckleheads. Come on. Ooh, that's stonewalled, y'all.
Well, yeah, I mean, associations.
Yeah.
I mean, I pose the question about packaging because I think that if I'm a banker, I'm very interested in helping I will consume material in the banking segment. And if I see something that helps me be an engaging speaker and helps my career in banking, that's going to resonate. So syndication, look a potentially segment by segment syndications, associations, websites, meetings, lunch and learns.
Yeah, I agree. And some of it, may even require a little bit of sponsorship, but Brian, I'm also a part of WAMP, and you're doing our gala here. I think that's in October.
Yep.
I have a hard time keeping track of my calendar, but those people sell mortgage loans for a living, and you want to talk about some boring ass people. They're fun when you put a few drinks in them, but in terms of just their the daily conversations that they're having, I think some people would be a lot more successful if they were to loosen the other parties up with a good mix of humor. So just to piggyback on what Michael was saying, associations like that, definitely, I think, no offense to Rosie or any of her counterparts, but I find CPAs to probably need a little bit of lightening up. So there's so many professional organizations that could benefit, and also you could benefit by becoming known in that organization, and then being at their annual gala or their fundraiser or whatever it happens to be, like you do with my organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great, Heath. And I was also thinking about what Mara said earlier after that tense phone call. Founders, people who are leading and they're dealing with like crazy pitches and obnoxious clients and really challenging sales appointments that can like make us spin. So much of what we're doing is trying to help people be resilient and playful. And how do they recoup quickly? Because we can't take 6 weeks to deal with the stress, right? We have to figure it out pretty fast. And so those type of people, I think, would also be good ones. And then also politicians, the smart ones, hopefully, right? There's always a crop of young politicians trying to make a difference, but if they can't educate and entertain and inform the public, there's no chance. And while we don't necessarily go left or right, we do like people who are trying to make the world a better place. And so we've worked with some in the past that has been quite interesting. Okay, other categories. Who are we missing here, you guys, that we need to get a XYZ professional in here?
Okay, so can I say something here?
Technically, you already are.
All right, thank you. Love you, Brian. We're having a good time today, aren't we? For all the PNA chapters, one of the things I've never heard mentioned is like an auto mechanic, right?
Yeah.
And I went to one time, I went to a BNI chapter up in Marysville, and if I could clone this guy, I definitely would. I forget the name of his auto center. It's in Marysville, but he was such a good guy in the fact that he was willing to not compromise safety, but he was willing to just do what was necessary. So, you were, you could stay within your budget. He had a lot of very budget conscious people that still needed a car care so they could get back and forth to work or get their kids back and forth to school. And he just had a really great attitude about, making it affordable and not doing more than, what was necessary. And I think we could really help somebody like that out big time.
We have had an auto guy in the Bothell chapter, and he brought in 70% of the revenue that chapter, because everyone
bet.
has buyers,
Yeah,
everyone has
I bet.
oil change needs, etc. And he was a phenomenal referrer. Hard word to say, referrer, but he was phenomenal at it too. So yeah.
Also like videographer, I can do some, but I'd love to get a full-time videographer in here. Content writer, event planner or wedding planner. They would be good power partners for Brian. What else? Think deep, you guys. Think deep. Who do you know that would know the people, the boring people that are presenting? And it's not even that they're boring. They're almost perfectionistic sometimes, and they want to make sure it's great. They don't want it to be not dynamic, or they want it to be dynamic.
Well, there's a lot of professional categories. I haven't run into any attorneys at any PNA events or any of the chapters that I visited. I think there are a couple. But there's a lot of different types of law that people need, from time to time. We have a financial planners coming out our ears. But there's so many. I could probably list off categories for the next 20 minutes, but I don't want to dominate the meeting. So.
Well, and I even think the people that you've already invited that obviously didn't join yet, like the gal that does the elder, not elder care, but she does.
Oh, elder care. She does the placement.
Yeah, the elder placement.
Yep.
And then the older lady, I can't remember her business, but she could use some humor. But she needs to be in here too. But I mean, I shouldn't have said that.
The funding gal, she had access to funding.
Yeah, the funding
Oh
gal.
yeah. Hey, Karen, that was your outside voice.
Right, sorry.
I thought she was a member.
No. Okay, I'm going to take back over. Marcel, thank you so much for taking over that section of the meeting. I appreciate it. Teamwork makes the dream work, people. I'm going to go ahead and enact the slideshow again for a second. And once again, what freaking buttons do I hit? There we go. We mentioned a lot of great folks today. And I just, once again, this is kind of the ongoing reminder. These are other businesses. Again, some are mentioned, some aren't. Think outside the box though, right? Copywriter, e-commerce business, someone who helps people with everything from Shopify, shopping cart experiences online. Event planner, sales trainer. Oh, I'm missing a bullet point. Podcast producer, someone who literally makes custom art, custom jewelry, digital artists, etc. A lot of these last bunch of names on this list, these are people who don't think they could or should be part of a business networking organization. Okay, lies, people, dirty lies. There's no reason. They're already shipping across the country. They're already working with clients all over the place. They can become great referral sources for us, and who knows, we might want to buy their custom gifts, whatever, right? So think outside the box, and maybe we can get some of those people in here as a guest. That was supposed to be a dramatic page turn. It didn't work. Come on, do it. Referrals or testimonials. We go through it. Let's just go ahead and go around the room again. Here is the list. I'm just going to say, Mara, you are first. Put you on the spot. Referrals or testimonials. Do you have anything you'd like to speak toward? If not, you can forever hold your pieces. But you got to have something nice to say about someone.
Well, I really, first off, I liked how you went through your site with, there's so many different components that probably you've shared before, but capturing all of that and remembering that you work with individuals and groups. So I liked seeing that today and going through that. And actually I was emailing my sister as we were just now her friend works over at Boeing, and for the engineering team, when we were talking about boring people, she was over at my house for my sister's bridal shower, and she was talking about the pickleball thing and arranging offsites. And so I was actually emailing my sister to get her email just now.
That's great.
So I could put you in touch with Kate.
Thank you.
Anyway, so hopefully more referrals to come for that, because the more I think about it, the boring people that you encounter with could use some injection of fun. Anyway, but that's all I've got. And I really enjoyed today's presentation, but.
Thank you, Mary. Any other referrals, testimonials? Heath, we'll just go down the list.
Okay, so I've done this before, but since you presented today, Brian, well, let's go ahead and run it again. So I want to say it was back in February of this year. We hired Brian to do, was it 90 minutes?
90 minutes, yep, that's your loyalty.
We did a 90-minute sort of mini LAF Tech session. I invited like 15 people. We were at the McMinimans over in Bothell. We ordered up some food. We had some drinks. I invited a real wide variety of people, and I'm still getting comments about that today. In fact, somebody just brought it up to me a week or a week and a half ago, and reminded me what a good time that they had at that event. And even my boss, Christopher, who I didn't think was a big fan of the event, brought that up in a group context the other day, and just about, thinking about having unique, events, and that was definitely right up there at the top of the list of unique events. So I can tell you that it was great for business building. It was great for just connecting with these people, because some of them are a little bit new in my orbit, and it would also be a fantastic team building event. I'd love to get my entire team from our location here in Seattle to be able to do one. I just don't know that they're going to budget for it this year, but
That's awesome.
it's worth it.
Thank you. And he pointed out a very important factor: the more you drink, the more tolerable I am. We're being honest. So, that's awesome. Thank you. Karen, do you have anything here to share today?
I was just going to give a shout out to Marcel again. Again, we're in another networking group together, and she shared some different things that she wants to do with her business and try to get the word out using her magazine and different things. So shout out to her for asking for help on that and getting feedback and receiving the feedback from us in a good way. So yeah, kudos for that.
That's awesome. For the record, Karen's actually been through our training, the 101 and I think 201 series. So anything she says that's funny, she actually owes us a dime. So it's fantastic. We're up to $1.50 so far. So Karen, keep plowing ahead. Good job. Marcel.
And Karen, it's your lucky day. So I don't know if I told you, or I forget who I've told about to, but so my mom's estate, like, we have a thing, we're going to sell the house. There's going to be a chunk of money eventually, and I really don't want to screw it up. So help me invest and probably save 90% of it, because I really don't need it right now for anything, but I want to talk through money and how, not money, but like a really strong retirement strategy for me, because I've got some catch up to do, and this is going to make it way better. So that's exciting. So a real referral for you, it's me.
Nice.
Help me have financial joy when it comes to retirement. And then also, Heath, I sent you, did you and Dylan ever talk from Amore Roofing? Or did you guys connect?
No, yes. I talked to him Friday at the Mill Creek chapter, but he was very non-committal about what his time was.
Okay.
I said, call me on a weekend. I said, I'll buy you a beer, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. I don't care,
Yeah. Okay.
So hopefully that turns into something. It sounds like he really needs me, but thank you again for that.
Yeah, I think he does. We're trying to get a bit from him, and there ended up being a bunch of things that went wrong in the first week. So I'm like, okay, the brother's overwhelmed. Like, he needs some help. Anyways, I hope it works. And then also Rosie, I sent you my friend, the world champion massage gal. She is so lovely and such a little butterfly. She's away at Burning Man this week, so she's not gonna get back to you this week, but be persistent with her. She knows a lot of people who need somebody like you, and she needs you. There's taxes to fix, but she's lovely, but please be patient. So that's officially coming your way. I know she's gonna hire you. She has no one else trying to help her with this. And I'm like, in the
I'll
revenue
follow
ring,
up with
I'm
her
like,
again.
oh, we gotta get your taxes rolling, and that's out of my skill set.
Yeah,
She's really
I'll message her again. So
excellent. She's super cool. I'm trying to think, Brian. I feel like there's a million nice things I could say about you, but I'm gonna wait till a future publication to say all of those things. And you just
Oh,
wait.
that sounds like a threat that I might be in your publication.
But not yet, soon. And Mike, good to see you. I actually something you had said at your last presentation about who you're targeting inspired that conversation I was having with Karen and these other gals about like who is Dreamosity targeting. And I think they're different, but maybe complementary audiences. And so I'm really excited just to learn more about the Puget Sound Business Journal. And I believe I owe you a 1-to-1 because I lost it last time we were scheduled. It just, life happened, and I want to meet with you because you're doing good work with the journal. So that's all I got.
cool. Well, I'd like to give, kudos or, testimony about Marcel and Brian, because, if anybody knew me way back then, I was like the super quiet, like mouse, so to speak, and I really give credit to them, just kind of build me up as a person, because obviously I stick in people's minds. I mean, it proves it with the lady that I'm meeting with at 2:30 today, because I met her once, and that was back earlier this year, and it's been 8 months, probably since I've seen her, probably anywhere from 6 to 8 months, and I stuck in her mind, just because of simple skills that I've learned, smiling, making them feel comfortable, and kind of not being such a stick in the mud, so to speak, with, just understanding, financial stuff, because financial stuff can be boring, right? It can be like, it stresses people out all the time, like, to no end. And so a lot of times I will just do a casual conversation with them about whatever, and it kind of lightens the mood for them, and they're just like, oh, okay, life doesn't have to be so stressful. And I try to bring that, into everything. So thank you guys. And I'm actually gonna be here or be up north Friday. So
Again?
Marcel.
Oh, we
Yeah,
can't believe it.
I know. I'm actually going to my aunt's house for the night, because I have cousin's cousin that has a birthday. And
I
it's
have
little,
like a 40-minute window if you want to do a quick lunch, but I can't do a whole hour.
sure. What time? Or you can message me.
I'll message you.
We can plan. Yeah.
All right. Mike, how about you, big man?
Well, great. Thank you. Sorry I'm late. I do love these meetings, and I miss them when I'm not here. Thank you, Keith, for a wonderful 1-to-1 last week, and got me thinking in a lot of different ways. I appreciate that. And thank you, Marcel. And in fact, would love to do a 1-to-1 soon with all of you. That is becoming something that I need and want to do, and my schedule allows me more to do that. And I'm sorry, Karen, you're in Arizona, because with every 1-to-1, I want it to be, I'd love for it to be a physical 1-to-1, so I could give you guys a book of lists, because as a premium, as a special gift for doing a 1-to-1. But that is something, if we could all coordinate calendars, I'd love to do. And Brian and Marcel have been thinking a lot about how the Puget Sound Business Journal should package being a better presenter with our events. It's something that I have some ideas around.
Awesome. Thank you. I like to do kind of a a standing recognition during my portion here, because honestly, when we first met Rosie, as she was mentioning, this was more Rosie. This was the Rosie we met. She was this adorable little tufted titmouse that just stood in the corner and just really didn't make the effort because she was so quiet and demure. And then after a couple sessions, we realized that we had released the hound into the wild. And if you've not met our little bulldog, her ears are nicer, but she's sassy. I much rather prefer that she acted more like this. But realistically, what the truth is behind it is that she's blown our little brain pans as far as how she has taken everything we ever suggested and turned all of our teachings into who she is today. So that is a testimonial for our own little firecracker, Miss Rosie Stritzel.
Thank
And
you.
if you're jealous that you did not get a video montage, you too can become a referral from LAF Tech. Sorry, I need to get out more. Wow, agreed to that. Merritt, you and I owe each other another one-to-one, so I know we've got stuff to talk about, which is super cool. Karen, I'm still mad that you left us and that you're in Arizona, the land of the glow-in-the-dark scorpions. So we need to figure out a one-to-one at some point. We haven't had one for a long time. And I think that's it right now, although Michael and I do need to reconnect because we were talking about some of that stuff that you were hinting about on last week. Then he disappeared into the forest like a magical fairy and just left me wondering what the hell happened. So we need to reconnect and talk more stuff. Do I need to bring up the slide deck one more time? I probably don't really. Next, our next meeting. Oh yeah, and you know what? Honestly, there is something else I forgot about. Marcel's been my sub recently for a number of things because I'm moving into my busy season for a number of things. So Marcel, thank you. You were a sub for me this morning. I think I drafted you to do that again tomorrow. And I promise I'll pay you as much as I did for today. So go team go in that regard. Next week, folks, not next week, the next meeting, September 4th. It's actually our open house. Do y'all remember agreeing to that? Yeah? How's those invites going? Okay, let's talk about that. We've been talking about the same thing during the meetings as far as the types of businesses that we want to get. I would suggest that we focus on a few of those, okay? And we can literally just go back to previous notes or go back to the proverbial honeydew list. But in general, we'd like to focus on folks that don't necessarily need to be tied to a zip code, right? We want them to be able to work with people all over the place. But I really think that we should all dig deep and do our best to get some of these categories that we've talked about a number of times, right? Anybody want to start kind of typing in a hit list in the chat window? If you were to think of your ideal referral partner, who would it be? Ready, set, go.
Graphic designers,
Okay.
speech coaches, like book author coach, book coaches.
Okay. Are you typing it too? So we have a list.
I will add it to the minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, Heath, for
Working on
all-
I second the CPA. I was just going to say that.
Yeah, definitely. HR managers for law offices. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I'm not sure an HR manager would necessarily be open to this, to like a business networking group though. That's the challenge, but we've had people in HR representing specific companies. So I think that's more toward what you're thinking of. I also want to toss it out here, a headhunter. Believe it or not, headhunters are great referral sources. They used to be part of PNA way back when. Solar energy. No, I've never seen that as an interesting category. Tell me more, Heath. Why would a solar energy person be?
Well, that's becoming more and more popular.
Okay. I like the way
and more affordable. In fact, I'll try to bring Manuel, my buddy Manuel from Northwest Electric and Solar.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to bring him to either a chapter meeting or back to this one. We're actually having lunch on the 4th, like an hour before this kicks off. So maybe I can talk him into spending 2.5 hours with me. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think that would be, that's something that is becoming more and more prevalent. For housing. Plus, it marries up really well with the mortgage brokers and the real estate agents and, the home improvement people that we have. Because, for example, Suni, if she were doing a job, why couldn't they also say, hey, what, since we're already rebuilding your house, what do you think about throwing some solar on there?
Well, and you're absolutely right too. And Marcel put in the chat window the OLP representative, that's Outdoor Lighting Perspectives. His admin / salesperson has been on this call twice now. She wasn't able to make it today, but that's an immediate referral source potentially, and vice versa for someone that does solar, because they do light installations across the Pacific Northwest.
Absolutely.
Big, amazing ones and small ones, event ones also. So that's kind of cool. Good thinking. So folks, again, the open house, we do need a speaker for that. But what we would do is we'd simply end a little bit earlier from the standpoint of what we do normally. We would just have a focus time for questions and answers for any guests that are present on that day, right? Technically speaking, next up is Karen. And if for any reason she didn't want to, we could move on to somebody else, or if she isn't available. Heath, I'd also like to throw you in the mix coming up soon to give you an opportunity. And who knows, we could also have a new member at that point too. But again, this is still, we're still a small rotation right now. And the only way to fix that is to have the dreaded open house, hopefully, of people who see value in this and might consider joining. Because obviously that increases.
Do you have maybe I've missed it. Is there like a formal invitation that I could receive and then forward?
I'm happy to generate one above and that bi-weekly reminder that I send out normally too late because I'm gifted. But I'm happy to make something sexy and send it out.
Well, and Brian too, with PNA, consider a $50 to $100 ad budget where we target business owners in the digital area.
Done. Make that happen, my social media guru of good taste.
You just tell me the budget. I'll hit go.
What about okay. No, I think that is a good idea. Also, remember, folks, just for what it's worth, there's a $100 referral fee or spiff if you get someone to join this organization. And in DigitalPNA, it's $25 if it's a landed chapter. But something to consider. Puppy.
Okay, who is this, Mara?
This is my friend's dog, Ziggy.
Oh, Ziggy.
Who was scratching the door, sorry.
Oh, he's got the crazy eyes.
I know, he's like.
So cute. Really, really adorable.
Full house.
Exactly. Okay, does anybody have any other questions or concerns about any of that stuff regarding our dear upcoming open house?
So wait, I guess I have a question. You said September 4th?
September 4th is the next event, yes.
That's open house?
The DigitalPNA, yes, open house.
Ooh, awesome. And then Heath will be on 2 weeks after on the 18th, is that right?
That would be the 18th, yes.
Okay, so Heath, are you able to be here on the September 18th?
Well, I'm sorry. Technically, that could be Karen. No, I'm sorry. Karen's the open house speaker. So Karen, bring your pony rides and glow in the dark scorpions and stuff. And then Heath will be the 18th.
Excellent, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Well, and I just wanted to give a little shout out too for Bothell PNA. I don't know if you guys have been there lately, but I've been going the last 2 times. And I went back today, one to sub for Brian, but 2 to hear their speaker. Their speaker today was fantastic. Their group was at like 19 people. They're just hobnobbing, remarkable, passing of referrals. They have a great little system, and they've just, I don't know, they're our longest running chapter. And if you haven't been there as a visitor or as a guest, go check them out. They're great people.
Is it still digital?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. It's early. It's at 7:30 on Wednesdays.
Oh, that's, yeah, no
I'm
problem.
usually still in I'm in my sweats all the time, but
Gonna say, you don't even have to wear pants, people. Come on.
my morning sweats for that call, my afternoon sweats. for my afternoon.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. It's fantastic.
It is a great group though.
It is a great group. And they were the group. They are the founding chapter of the organization. So they are that cool. Speaking of cool, folks, it's announcement time. If anyone is local enough and wants to go to Shoreline, we'll have our second attempt at this location. I say that jokingly just because it was a big space and we tried really hard to fill it the last time. Those who showed up had a great time. It was about 60 people in the room. We can seat double that. So I'm looking for anyone involved in a gang or that has a large posse that could join and attend. So, you know, we're talking anyway, 15 to 20 people. I will purposely set up the octagon. You can battle it out, whatever it takes. West Side Story music amidst the jokes. Doesn't matter. Let's have some fun. So if you want to get out and, you know, watch the carnage, the comedians we've got lined up, there's two new ones. The first and second one are new to us. So that's always exciting. It's either going to go really well or be a flaming hot mess. But the other two, Kate Carlson, that wasn't a stutter. She is Carlson and she married a Carlson. She's adorable and hilarious and will make you scream in the best possible ways. And then Jess Everett talks just like he looks. He's possibly half drunk or half awake every time he does his sets, but he is absolutely hilarious. So we're thrilled to have him as our headliner. And then the nonprofit event, I know Heath has been looking at this. I think Michael was playing around with availability, but that may not work for you if memory serves. Mara, have we talked about this? You need to be here. You need to be at this event as a vendor. And I say that because if you can, there could be anywhere from currently 15 to 30 nonprofit organization attendees. And they're looking for resources, not only to introduce themselves to one another, but also to meet with businesses that can support nonprofits in some way, shape, or form. Lots of them need benefits packages, et cetera. They have no clue the amount of resources available in the Pacific Northwest for one another or their businesses. And most NPOs fail in the first 3 years, apparently, because they don't know of all the stuff that our state and local vendors have to offer to help them. So if you work with the NPOs in any capacity, consider it. It's free of charge to be a vendor. If you are a nonprofit organization, it's free to go. It's our first event. I partnered with First Citizens Bank. They came to me and said, well, Brian, because you're an auctioneer and MC / since you're so quiet and shy, let's have you, co-produce this event to just get people together. It's real brief, 2 hours, same place we have the comedy night because it's such a great facility. And the venue itself is super inexpensive for folks. So just
Brian, do I get a table?
Yes, you will. You will have a 6-foot table.
Okay, good. Because I just want to start to gather together some things to bring.
Awesome. Yeah.
Can we get
Marcel
a
wants to
photo
get a
real quick?
selfie.
Everybody smile.
But hold on just 1 second.
I'm gonna try to get a selfie and then you guys all in the background. Mike wasn't here. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh, another one too, just in case. I should do a video, but I'm feeling shy, so maybe next time.
That's
Good to
awesome.
see you all.
Everybody, thank you for being here today. We are exactly at 1:30. If anybody needs to stay on for a few, you're welcome to, but otherwise go have a fantastic rest of your week and rock it on. Tell some about DigitalPNA. Next time, open house. Be there. Bye, everyone.